Hello and welcome to Zaza Zooms In. I'm with my girl once again. Yes, and today we are speaking about something that is really close to my heart, and it's basically about self esteem. Self esteem is one of those things that I think a lot of us struggle with, and Wonu and I basically spoke about our challenges with our self esteem. This is what we had to say. Hello and welcome to Zaza Zooms In. I'm back with my girl once.
Hello again. Don't be tired of me. I might be back again.
Yeah, I know. You know, the problem with this thing is I get these people on and then
They never want to leave.
yeah.
Cheers.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, I better not invite anybody on that I don't want to come back. I think that's the moral of
No,
this.
but the fact that we want to come back is good. It means we just like talking to you.
This is a good thing. This is a
Yeah.
good thing. And I think it's almost like counseling. It's liberating. Yes, you guys get to speak.
I feel like this next session is going to be counseling for
Yeah.
you for sure. For sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so today we're going to talk about self-esteem. Okay, how can I introduce this? I feel, this is my opinion, please note, this is my opinion. I feel that a lot of women, it's true of men too, but I think it's particularly true of women, at some point in life, and often quite a while through our lives, suffer from low self-esteem. Do you agree?
I agree. I think mine is even. I think I can take mine further even because I associate confidence with many things, which is really bizarre.
Okay, but wait, pause. So are you saying that self-esteem is confidence? Because you just went straight to
Look
confidence.
at that. She just threw me a curveball. Self-esteem, confidence. I can fake confidence. You can't fake self-esteem, right?
Okay, but
Can
because you just
Can
said I associate confidence. We're talking about self-esteem. I went straight to confidence. So I'm
Well,
wondering if
I
you're
think
using them
it's-
interchangeably. I think they're related. I think when you have good self-esteem, you do have confidence.
Well, you
I
can
don't
have
think
confidence
that-
and not have good confidence.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think they're the same thing.
Yes. Okay. So let me backtrack.
Okay.
So what was your question?
So I said, do you agree that's women? And you said yours.
Yes.
You can take yours
Okay.
back longer. Also.
Okay. So self-esteem, I agree that often, especially as women, often throughout our lives. Well, okay. I apologize. Let me speak for myself. I don't want to generalize.
Yeah.
Throughout my life, I think I have done a lot of fake it till you make it. And that was often because I didn't have the self-esteem I needed to, to
You know
be
what?
whatever I needed in that situation.
I don't want to define self-esteem because I'm not sure. How would you define self-esteem? I'm going to Google it and see what it says. And the reason why is because you said something that I'm thinking,
Why are we saying all those triggering things?
am I triggered? Oh, you are saying,
Yeah.
well, no, because self-esteem is my thing. Not that it's my thing, but
Well,
it's
I guess
something
that's Rock Your Own Gorgeous is born after
yes.
this.
Do you know what I
Right,
mean? So
okay.
I'm like, so I'm just thinking, actually, self-esteem meaning. Let's see what it comes up with, and then we take it from there. Because I think you're right. A lot of people look at it as confidence. A lot of people look at it as, like when you said I didn't have the self-esteem. So basically, I think self-esteem. Let me read it. You're right. Confidence in one's own worth or abilities. Self-respect. So
Okay.
effectively, you could use confidence,
Yes.
but it's
Oh,
confidence
okay.
in your own abilities. So
Abilities.
yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Okay.
Go on. Sorry.
My mother will be proud. They paid a lot of money for my education. Can't tell, but never mind. Okay, so yes. So, I don't know. Self-esteem is one of those really difficult ones. Can you fake it? Can you fake it? I don't think you can.
Well, let me. So for me, I don't think I knew I had low self-esteem when I had low for a long time. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I guess, I mean, now I can tell you I had low self-esteem.
Yes.
But at the time when I had low self-esteem, I didn't identify it because maybe if I knew it
No,
was
I knew.
low. So okay, so you knew.
I knew.
I didn't know it was low self-esteem. I just didn't think I was good enough at certain things. I didn't
No,
think
I
I was
knew.
able. I didn't think I was capable. But I didn't think it was an esteem thing. I thought it was an ability thing. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes. No, I definitely
So-
knew mine was.
Okay,
the
so
low
how did you
self-esteem
know?
thing. Because I knew I was good at what I was doing.
Okay, you just
Yes.
didn't. Ah.
Yes, I definitely knew.
But how did you know you were good at what you're doing?
Because
that's a
every so
different
often
level
I
of
try to
confidence.
validate myself in an environment that is not one I'm used to being. So I don't know. That can play out as I have a small I have a business partner. We run a small business, so every so often we'll meet up with clients, and they would eat up what we were saying, literally lap it up. So, and then that would validate me, and I would think, you actually know what you're talking about.
That's now in your adulthood. How did you validate?
Okay, how
How
far
did
back
you
are you
check
talking
it?
about?
Well, for me, my self-esteem or my low self-esteem was
Sure.
from, I guess, from when I was. I mean, I found out later that girls that don't grow up with a father figure tend to have low self-esteem. So maybe that was part of it.
Maybe.
I didn't know at the time, but it was when I was, primary school, secondary school.
No, I was buzzing with self-esteem when I was
So
younger.
you lost it.
Yes.
Interesting.
I had the you couldn't even step to me. There was nothing anybody could tell me when I was growing up.
So what made you lose it? You think did something
So
happen?
for me, I associate, which I really shouldn't, but I associate a lot of my self-esteem, confidence, worth with my professional outlook.
Why?
I have no idea. I have literally.
Did you grow up in a
idea.
household where it was all about achievement in terms of
I did.
your profession, school, and maybe that's
Yes.
why.
Maybe that's why. But I mean, when we were growing up, I was the brain box of the family. Myself and my brother. My two sisters, not so much.
You have
My
finished your
sisters-
sisters
I know,
of
my
this thing. I don't know.
But now my sister owns a nursery, so who's laughing now? Okay.
I just want to say, Wonu's sisters,
They're great.
I'm not guilty of this. She's bringing. I don't believe anything she's saying.
One owns the nursery, one worked for Goldman Sachs and is now at ANZ. They're great, but I can make fun of them. They're good. So as a child, it was always my dad's a lawyer, and so he's always talked about knowing who you are. You can't if you're on a plane, for example, and someone said you're in my seat, if you did get up without checking your boarding pass or even knowing your seat number in your head, my dad would have a fit. He would literally just tell us off, because in his mind, you need to know who you are. You need to know those things. You need to know your bank account off the top of your head. All my siblings do. You need to, as you're walking to the house, your keys need to be out already, because you can't then get to the house and you're trying to look for your keys.
Okay.
That's the kind of household we grew up in. So I don't know if that has to do with why, as a kid, my self-confidence was through the roof. It wasn't until I was in my 30s that I lost my self-confidence.
That's quite late. That's
Yes.
when we are getting our self-confidence.
Yeah, no, I was brimming with it up until then. And then, maybe my late 20s, early 30s. But again, that was because I didn't feel like I was achieving what I needed to professionally.
But you know what? I actually think there's something, because my son has always excelled at everything. And I remember saying to his father when he was like 16, this guy needs to fail something. Because I don't want him to fail when he gets to university and then his life is over. Because it's like he's been excelling so much, he doesn't actually know what failure is. And I feel like failure, you need to let him get over failure here when he's supported rather than in the world. So maybe that's what happened to you. Like you were doing really well, and then when it was now, like your failure was later. So as opposed to your imagination of your failure, because it probably wasn't even failure, but you didn't feel it was good enough.
To be honest, I don't even know what that is. Okay, maybe. I told you we're going to do counseling today, so you can tell me.
Okay.
So maybe, when I was 20 something, or maybe early 30s, I changed careers. So
that's even what it is actually.
Maybe I
Because
changed
you were doing
careers.
very well
I was
in
doing
that
very
one.
well in my career. Well, let's rephrase that. I was doing very, very well financially.
Yeah.
But in terms of the job, I actually don't think I was doing that well. I think I was very mediocre. Yeah, we won't tell them. Shh, if you work there, don't worry. So financially, I was doing great. And then, again, maybe because of the household I grew up with, we associated financial success with everything else. Self-esteem, confidence, if you can buy it, then you own it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when that then dwindled, actually that's
There you go. See, free counseling.
Yeah,
Just talk to your friend.
Yeah, that's where it all went wrong.
Because then I guess at that point you're still using, and you see, it's so funny because when I don't know if you saw the programs I did on Can a Woman Have It All, and this was one of the things we were talking about, is what is success to you? If your success is based on, as in what is it all to you, and so if it's financial, if it's then obviously when you're not doing that, then you don't think that you're doing very well.
Yes.
You know, so I guess it's a very key thing.
Yes. So yes, you make a very valid point, because that's when, and then I went into a new profession, and even though I knew on some level I was good at it, because I got into it late, I didn't think I was where I needed to be.
Yeah.
And so every mistake knocked me.
Yeah.
Knocked me for 6. Every mistake that somebody else picked out, the shame, the embarrassment, like, oh my God, someone else picked this out. And even though, God bless the people that come back and say, oh no, but we're all allowed to make mistakes, I took it so hard. And the worst part is that I always be like, oh, it doesn't matter, brush it under the carpet, learn from it, move on. Maybe I didn't move on as well as I thought I did.
Yeah.
So every time I made a mistake, or somebody thought my work wasn't good enough, or it just knocked me for 6, and that just happened over a period of years, to the point where my self-esteem was even low outside of work.
Yeah, so it transferred across.
It transferred across outside, and then, then I'd second guess everything I did, and it just, but I think I didn't want my children to be like that. So I tried to reel it back a bit. But even in reeling it back, you don't really say to yourself, you have low self-confidence, right? You have low self-esteem. You just know that something you're doing, you really shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
So you try to project.
Well, you know what? I think a lot of this problem is the way we're brought up is almost like everybody else matters more than we do.
Yeah.
Everybody else's opinion matters more than ours does.
Yes.
And I remember there was once when I used to blog back in the day. I remember there was one blog that I wrote, and I questioned myself. I said, why is it, Sinuke, that you allow everybody else's opinion to carry more weight than your own opinion? I think this is partly the female problem. I think it is partly the cultural problem, the culture we come from. But I think it's also a human problem. I think it is. But and that thing. I mean, I can only speak for a woman because I'm a woman. But I think with us it's harder because we have so many things working against us anyway. So any little thing that comes is going to knock us a little bit more, because we're going to think, oh my gosh, I wasn't good enough. I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think men think like that as much as we do.
I think they can compartmentalize.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
No, but women are better at compartmentalizing than men.
No,
Really?
women. No, we're not. We take the whole, as in. No, if it affects us, so a man can work, home, play. It comes into everything.
Yes.
So that's why they say that. What they say, women are like spaghetti, and men are like macaroni. I think that's
I've never heard that before.
So they're individual.
Right.
Whereas we're all tangled. It's all mixed in together. You haven't heard that before?
No.
Did I make that up?
Somebody else help me.
I've never made that up. I think there's a book when when they say men are from Mars.
Yes, I know that.
I think after that a book came out saying women are spaghetti, men are.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
I get the So maybe I'm not able to compartmentalize. Like I couldn't separate work from home, and then the low self-confidence just ate me up. And then what it did was I just stopped talking. I stopped talking to my husband until he had a cardiac arrest and I had to talk to him. But anyway, stopped talking to my husband. And then I wouldn't run decisions past anyone, because I would just be afraid that they would say, what kind of foolish, why would you want to do something like this? And then, in my mind, I already say that it's not good enough, and then I wouldn't do it. So there's so many things I feel like I'm supposed to be doing, but because I just didn't have the confidence to do it, I just let it go.
That's so sad.
It is.
And I think it's so true. That there's so many, gosh, that is really, but there must be stuff. It's funny, I had this conversation with one of the episodes where I was talking about, did you give up your dreams for your spouse? And what, after the thing was aired, different people were saying, but you can pick up new dreams, or you can find dreams. There's some dreams you can't pick up, that's fun, but other ones you can pick up and...
Can't be a figure skater now.
You can. Just be extremely hard. Did you want to be a figure skater?
No. I think I'm one of those things that you don't pick up afterwards.
Random things. But I think you see, I think self-esteem is so important because, like you said, if you don't feel that you are good enough, if you don't feel you are able to do it, well, first of all, you can't. You're not even going to be able to do it. But secondly, it almost puts you in a position, I think, where you can be abused. I almost feel like it puts you in a vulnerable position, and I think there are people that can see this vulnerability, and if they happen to be those type of people, they can abuse you. So I think I mean, for me, I know growing up, I was very shy. I still am very shy.
She says this all the time.
However, because I saw what shyness did to my mother and my sister, I determined that I was not going to show anybody that I was shy. So I acted above it, and I've kind of acted all the way through to here. So, whilst I still think I'm shy, I guess there's an element of confidence I've developed through the faking it till you make it type of thing. But I know that because I then took on a role, it was much easier for me to deal with the self-esteem in the sense that, well, I can be who I want to be through acting. So acting was my thing. I love acting.
Really? You actually took this on as real life?
I used to. I acted in everything. I mean, I acted amateur dramatics. I did every school play.
But I mean, you extended it to your real life.
It wasn't so much my real life, but in terms of till today, like I was saying this the other day, when somebody said to me, I went up on stage to do something, and they had literally come to me minutes before to say, "Can you do this?" And I went up and did it, and I came down. I remember somebody saying to me, "I could never do that. You're so confident." And I said, "I'm not." The moment I knew I had to do it, I entered the room,
took on a new persona.
Yes, took it on. I did it, and I came back. You know what I mean? And when you say that, people are like, "What sort of nonsense?"
I know what you mean.
I fully get it. And I remember I said it before when I heard Beyonce say that
Sasha Fierce.
Whilst everybody was like, "What?" I completely understood what she meant, because it's almost like this has to be done. How am I going to do it? The only way I'm going to do it is by stepping into this role, step into the role, do it, and come back to
and own it.
You know what I mean? So I think that's part of but that whole Rock Your Own Goddess thing started because of this. Because I was like, okay, if you have no self-esteem and you don't believe that you're good enough at certain things, and luckily I had people around me who would tell me I was good at certain things, but people telling you doesn't make you believe.
You need to believe.
You need to believe for yourself.
Yes.
So I literally went on this journey of who are you, what can you do, what do you like to do, what to actually try and find this thing. This thing, confidence to this thing, and that's where it came from. So a lot of people that met me later in life are like, "You're so confident, you're so that." And I think if you speak to my childhood friends, they will say that I was relatively confident as well. But again, this was me doing that's when I was still faking it. You know what I mean? So but I think self-esteem is so key.
It is,
because if you don't have our daughter
defines.
The daughter that we share, that is overflowing in self-esteem.
It's beautiful to watch. Beautiful to watch. It's like there's nothing she can't take off, because who are you to tell her that she can't do it? It's like,
but you see, I did that. Well, I didn't do it to her. I was doing it to her sister.
Yes.
And she grew up in this environment of I can do whatever I like. Because she just stepped into it and left it like that. I didn't know there was a reason it was like that.
I remember.
And I really am so happy that has happened, because even though I said to her dad, I said, should we bring her down to earth a bit before she starts secondary school, because and then I thought, what, when they bring her down to, because somebody's going to bring her down, we will be there to support her. I'm not going to bring her down to earth, because actually we can't do whatever.
Let's support the movement. Support her all the way, No, because so many children don't, they struggle with everyday life. School is such a hard place. The playground is a hard place. Honestly, the playground, and workplace has nothing on the playground. With teenage girls, the playground is not for kids. The school playground is not for kids. So if you have self-confidence, please, by all means, let's support the movement. It's just, it's interesting that you said mine happened later in life, because I never thought about it, that mine came about later in life. And because as a kid I was really confident. But I mean, I said that to say, I'm at the place now, I think turning 40 helped me, because I suddenly thought, you can't go your whole life just thinking you're not good at this, you're not good at that. Even if you're not good at it, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? You're going to feel, okay, so at least this wasn't meant for you, right? And then you do something else. So 40 was very liberating. 40 really liberated me. Then I hit 42, and I thought, oh, I don't like 42.
What happened?
I don't know. I just don't like 40. I think I was on a 40 high. Where I was just like, yeah, da 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 da. You know, no one can tell me anything. And then I hit 42. I was just like, okay, so what are you trying to do exactly? So then I had to really sit down and then think, okay, what actually is the problem? And I think that's when I discovered that I really was lacking self-confidence. And then, you know, I sought help. You know, I did a coaching session, and my coach was brilliant. Can't talk enough about her. I'll ask her if I can push her out next time, but she was brilliant. And I think it was the first time someone has said to me that your life doesn't revolve around work. I mean, I knew that, but I didn't know that.
But that's also because of where you were coming from, where you said that work
Yes.
was like
Yes.
the end goal.
Yes,
if you like.
work was the end goal. You know, and I don't know that anybody even I never said to any of my friends we're competing, we're going to be the most successful. But I was just in that environment, and you know, I was thriving in that environment. It wasn't anything I shied away from. So it wasn't until that person said to me, you know, every time I ask you something, it always comes back to work, and I hadn't realized that I did that. And I thought, wow, that is deep. It may not sound it right now, but honestly, it was a revelation. I was thrown aback by how much I associated everything with having a successful professional career. Not to say that I don't have one now, but it was just, I didn't realize how wrapped around work my confidence was, my self-esteem was. So where I wasn't excelling at work, or I didn't think I was excelling at work, it was a personal affront. And that personal affront affected my marriage, affected me as an individual, just affected everything. And that, which my coaching session happened last year, 2022. Yes. And it wasn't until last year that I thought, what? You're okay. Yeah. And that's really what it was. You're okay.
Because I think one of the things that really helped me was thinking about things. I don't know whether we don't think about things. So for example, this thing, it never ever occurred to you that you always referred back to your work. Obviously, you know that with Rocky Unconscious, I do a lot of asking myself questions and everything, which is where I got to. I wonder how one can increase their self-esteem. Is that English? How you can have a better self-esteem if, you know, like, so for example, now your self-esteem is okay.
Yes.
Was it because of that one conversation that made you realize that?
It's not, there's no one fix, in my opinion. So I'm a Christian, so I'm always going to talk from a viewpoint of a Christian. So when I had that one conversation, and then I realized that really there's no pleasing any man, you know. People, I mean, not, you can, but that shouldn't be your aim. That's not the goal. Yeah. And God loves me. Really, literally, that was it. So that was what unlocked the door for me. God loves you. You know, it has nothing to do with what you do. It has nothing to do with your work. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's just a fact. God loves you, and because of that, I just felt free. I was just liberated.
But do you know what?
Yeah.
You make a very valid point here, because just the fact that God loves you, if you can fully embrace that, you will not have low self-esteem.
Yes.
And I think I will even go as far as to say that if you know that somebody loves you, not even God, if you don't want to say God,
agree.
that somebody loves you,
and
has got your back, loves you unconditionally, is yours, that is enough to push your self-esteem.
Yes, that's
up.
true.
Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
So what then, my question now will be, or I don't know if it's a question, is that then why is it that someone like me, who knew that I was very well loved, still had so low self-esteem?
But what do you assert? What is your, you know how I said mine was work. What's your success factor?
I don't know that I had, you know, this I was 10, I don't know that I had a success factor that I had in mind, but I think it's
somebody
also
say something. You know, sometimes somebody can say one thing.
Yeah, I know.
That can just.
I haven't been able to identify that,
okay.
But I think also maybe it's partly because it's one thing. It's about knowing that you're loved, not being loved.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's one thing to say, I mean, then many people that love me, but if I didn't feel like I was loved, and I don't know what the solution to that
I was
is.
going
or
to say, how
how
do you
then-
not feel
how
like
do
you're
you know?
loved? Because they're saying all the right things, they're doing all the right things.
But if I'm thinking, well, they can't possibly love me because I'm such a horrible person or whatever.
Mm.
But why am I thinking that? You know, I mean, this self-esteem, I don't even know,
It's
because I just feel like
suffering.
sometimes until we get it, there's nothing anybody else can do. So they can all be doing the right
Yeah.
things around you,
True.
but you have to, and that's why I guess that's why I did that thing of asking myself questions. What do I like? Why does this upset you? What, you know what I mean? Just to try and understand myself so that I could now make the link that
Yes.
okay,
This
is
the
what,
trigger,
or
this
whatever,
is
you know what I
causes
mean?
it. Yeah.
But it's very interesting because I think
So where you at now?
me.
Mm.
Are you actually asking that question?
Tell us.
All that and a bag of chips.
Absolutely.
And you know, it's actually really bad.
But how did you get here though?
Through my working on asking myself questions and looking at the reality, the facts, you know what I mean? And it's actually so bad that it's actually really bad that
That needs to come.
yeah, that I'm actually like if somebody doesn't want to be my friend, I really feel like it's your loss. And I really do, and I'm not in a proud way. I just think, Kai, you don't know what I'm bringing to the table. Man. It's so bad. You
actually think that?
I have, yes. I have.
Why
been
would
to-
anyone not want to be your
Well,
friend?
that's not even the point. But the point is that, you know, as like, I mean, there are many reasons that people would not want to be my friend. But what I mean is that I often, yeah, but you're biased. But I often do think to myself, what a shame they didn't get to know me. Or, you know what I mean? Like, not in a proud way, but I just feel like, you know,
I have so much to offer.
there's, you know, I mean, we don't have to be besties, but, you know, you know,
Yeah.
I'm bringing something, you know, type of thing. And I don't know how many people think like that. Because I think,
I don't think that.
and I think a lot of people think it, because when I say it, it sounds really arrogant.
No, but because we know you, we don't think it's arrogant. Like I didn't think you were talking from an arrogant point
But
of view.
I'm always scared to say it. That's why I said it's really bad. Because I always feel like it sounds so bad. But I honestly really believe that. I don't.
No, but I don't think it sounds as bad as you're making out. It's not something that people would say ordinarily. But it's about self-worth, right? Self-worth, self-esteem is about that. And
I guess so.
if you know you, not you just know it. So what other people may have told you as well. So like I always call her MVP. Like I love her to bits. I will call Zaz at 2 in the morning.
She's biased.
And I will say, Zaz, I need help with this thing. And literally she would do it at 2 o'clock in the morning. Don't call your friends at 2 in the morning. You're meant to be sleeping. But Zaz would do it. And so I know what she brings to the table. And I agree with her. It would be such a shame if you don't get to meet that side of her. Don't call her at 2 in the morning. That's reserved for me. But it's just, and I think saying it, it's good that another female can say something like that. Because we don't get enough of that.
Yeah, no.
Because we're always trying to be humble. Not that humility is a bad thing, but we're always trying to downplay.
Do you know?
Our
Anyway,
worth.
we can do this humility in another conversation
Yes,
because I have
ma'am.
a problem with that
No,
thing. But
no,
okay,
no, no.
let's
We
leave it.
but we take it
Yes.
far. Sometimes we take it far. We take it
okay.
too far. But I think when I say we take it far, we take it so far that you're now downplaying your worth. No, she just said now. I think it would be a shame if you're not.
No,
you know,
and I'm not joking. I actually think it's, and I feel
which
for
is
the
what is
people-
hilarious, but is amazing that you can say
Like,
that.
oh my
Because
gosh.
I'm not even in a position where I can say that about myself. I'm not, and my
That's
self-esteem is great though. But I'm not even in a position where I can say that. So
Oh my
I think,
gosh.
and we don't hear enough of that. Our kids don't hear enough of that. All they're hearing is, oh, don't say that. You sound arrogant. That's what we're saying to them.
And I know, and you know, and that is a problem.
Yeah.
Because I do think that, but this is what we're saying about other people's opinions and other. Because I feel like
Yeah.
what I was even saying about that humility thing is when I say that, I don't even mean it in a. I know you know this, but what I mean is I don't mean it in a proud way. And I don't mean that I'm better than anybody or that. I just mean that, you know, I always feel like you know me. Everybody I meet, I feel there's something that they have to give me. When I not to give me,
Not
there's
to
something I
give
can
you,
take
yes,
from them. There's something I
yes.
can learn from them. So
Yes.
and that's my attitude. So whether it's the homeless person, whether it's you know, I don't care who you are. That you are, as long as you're a human being, then you are of God. Like God created you, and there's something that you know. So that's
Absolutely.
how I approach everything from a human level, not a title level,
Right.
not a you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I think that's where I can. So when I say this, I'm saying it that I just feel like there's so much that God has put in me, and there's so much you can get from that.
Yes.
Do you get? But and you're choosing not to because maybe I was a bit rude or for whatever reason you decided that you don't want to, and that's your loss, and that's how I see it. So it's not.
But that's great. Other people, once that happens, it knocks them.
Yes.
So, and then that's where your self-confidence or whatever else comes with that gets affected. But if you know the way you know now, that's what I have to offer, not in a, I'm the best thing since sliced bread, but what I have to offer because of what has been put in me, because it is my responsibility to, be this human that I've been put on earth for, is amazing. And nothing can knock that.
Yes. Now, having said that, when the person says they don't want to be my friend, it pains now.
I don't know who's going to say they don't want to be her friend.
No,
that is so funny. I'll wait 15.
No, I mean they don't say that.
I know,
it's funny. But like, so, and it still hurts. But what I do,
Yes.
I've learned. I guess you have that mechanism. So I've learned how to deal with it now. So I
Right.
better. So when they do that, I have to go back and remind myself that it's okay. You know what? They don't want to, and it's not by force. It's not everybody that is yours. And they always say this. Not everybody is your. What's that thing they say? Your crowd, your
Tribe.
Thank you. Not everyone is your tribe, and that's true. And so not everyone is my tribe. And maybe I shouldn't even be trying to get everyone to be my tribe. Do you get what I mean? But I still have to go back and remind myself that actually it's okay, not everyone is your tribe, and it's okay as long as you know that you did your best and you tried to reach out or you whatever, then and then I let it go. But it's not that it doesn't hurt. It's not that it's just water off.
But do you really let it go? I think that's why I say I let it go, but I don't think I do.
I do, but it's never immediate. As in, you know what I mean? It will take a bit of
time.
I kind of have to self-talk myself a bit back to where I was.
But that's you just reminding yourself of your self-worth.
Yes, exactly.
And that goes to self-esteem. So that speaks to self-esteem as in your self-worth. In fact, these days I'm even associating my self-worth and my mental health. Because I really am. Because, if I'm just like, you are this person, you are that, you're this. And the moment I can rationalize it in my mind or sit with it happily in my mind, it translates. Yeah. So the Bible talks about as a man thinketh, so he is.
I was just saying,
what you think
in your head,
is translates and is played out. So sometimes it often starts here. I remember when Bergie first had the cardiac arrest. We were praying and people used to ask me, "Can you sleep?" I was sleeping. But during the day, the mental battle. Oh my gosh! I remember I'd be walking to the hospital and each step, I'd be the way I'm speaking to you now. That's how I'll be talking. People would think I was talking to somebody on the phone. No, me, I'm just telling my mind. Yes, So
well, it's that thing that Joyce Meyer talks about, the battle of the mind. I mean, I think it's the mind is a battlefield, and what does she call it? It's here.
Battlefield
it
of
has
the mind.
Battlefield of the mind. It's here. That's it. And if you can get it right here, then it's okay. But it doesn't mean that it will never get hit. It's a battlefield.
Yes.
You're going to get hit.
Yes.
But it's how do you protect yourself? How do you defend yourself? And that's that whole thing of speaking to yourself.
Yes.
So so definitely it hurts.
Yes.
But I've learned that I can deal with pain.
Yes.
So the fact that it hurts doesn't mean I should crawl, lie down and die.
Yeah.
It means that I need to fight it harder, or I need to,
Yes.
and not fight the person, but fight the feelings it gave me, or the whatever it
and
gave
the
me.
thoughts that come with those. Oh, you're not good enough.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that person doesn't want to be your friend. No, you are good enough, and not everyone is going to be your friend. Not to say that they should be enemies, but you're not gonna. Not everyone is your tribe. Exactly. Not everyone is in your inner circle or outer circle, whatever circle you guys want to have. You're not for everyone, and that is okay.
Yeah,
Honestly,
and when you see, but that's
40 liberated me. That
I was just going to say, a lot of people are
oh
not
my
okay
gosh,
with that.
no, it's okay.
It's okay.
Totally.
There are enough
really
people
is
in the
okay,
world
yes.
for you to have your people and other people to have your people.
Yes.
You to live happily together. You don't have
okay.
to be friends.
It's
Just
okay.
be civil.
Yes.
As long as you're not fighting yourselves and you're not rude.
Yes, exactly.
It's all good.
Even the Bible says, if this is not working for you, dust your feet. Carry it on.
So no, so I do think. I mean, I do think that self-esteem is. I think like that's what I tried to breed in my girls was self-esteem that they will. Yeah, and like I said, there was a day when I thought I've taken this in too far, but I'm okay with it being too far because I feel like life will bring them down to earth.
I agree.
So long as they're not brats and they're not, you know what I mean, and they're not arrogant with it. It's okay to think that actually I bring something to the table.
And it's harder to go from a place of no self-esteem to bringing them up than the other way around.
Yes.
So when someone has a low self-esteem, especially young girls, it's so difficult to bring them to a place where they believe in themselves.
Yeah.
It is really difficult. I've seen it play out in many different ways, and honestly, it's really tough. So, please, at home, support it.
All the
to
way,
the
all
nth
the way.
degree, all the way.
And I feel like there's enough people that are going to bash their self-esteem. Don't let yourself be.
Yeah,
That's
one of them.
One of them. Yeah.
And work on your self-esteem. It's not something that you just wake up and you have self-esteem to do. No.
It's a daily work now, and it doesn't end. It really doesn't end. And it's so funny. There's a post. It's a quote that I post. I often post it on my status every so often, and it says, "If I ask you to name the things you love, how long will it be before you name yourself?" Have you ever seen that? And that you'll be on page 7, Abby.
I don't even think I'll make the list. I may not even make the list.
Do you know what I mean? And this the first day I saw that, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because I know I love myself, but would I ever consider it when I'm thinking of things I love?
Yeah.
And now I put myself first.
From today.
Yeah.
That's gonna change.
So before I put swimming, whatever I want to put, I will put because it's not the sort of thing that you think about. And I think society doesn't even want you to think about it, because they seem to think that if you love yourself, we're going to now go into self-love versus because I feel like we seem to think that if we love ourselves, that means that we are arrogant, we're selfish, we're proud, we forget that self-love is actually, God even says, as in, we need to love ourselves. If you cannot love I struggle with that. If you cannot love yourself,
what you're projecting is gonna be what you're feeling.
Yeah.
I really believe that what you're projecting, and even if you fake it, how long are you gonna fake it for? So what you're feeling, what you're thinking, like I'll give you a good example. So I think which day was it? One of my children, the school report came, they didn't do so well. The rest of the evening they kept asking, what's wrong? And I kept saying nothing. Why are they asking me what's wrong? Then it was the next day, someone was not saying, you were just so angry yesterday about me. I said, was I angry? They were like, well, you weren't shouting, but your tone, your behavior, and I didn't realize, or if my youngest child plays football, if he has a bad game, so I'll just come back. Then my older two said to me, we always know when the last one has a bad game because mommy is in a bad mood.
But why are you in a bad mood?
I don't know.
Is he in a bad mood?
No. Zaz, I can't tell you, but I'm just in a foul, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Riri had a bad game today, guys. Let's not talk to mommy." Because it's so what you're feeling, you definitely project despite your best intention. And sometimes I catch myself and I go, "Okay, tone it down." It doesn't work.
But you see, it's funny because I was just going to say that. How do you then not regulate? Because how do you regulate? Because once you know you're feeling, I think it's this self-talk again.
Yes.
It has to be. Yes. So that's the way I do it. I mean, one of the things I'm really good at. Have I told you this? This is how I got to where I am. You are laughing.
I'm really laughing. And I'm going to do what she's saying afterwards, but I'm laughing at her openly.
I talk to myself in the mirror.
Oh, you see, I've never done that.
I
know people that do it. I've never done it.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Yes,
I have a friend that did it from when she was a child.
Not only do I talk to so I started talking to myself in the mirror when I was younger, and I didn't have the self-esteem to fight back or to talk back. Every fight I wanted to have, I would have it with the mirror. So the mirror was like my counselor.
No way.
I'm telling you. So you know when people say, "Oh, you don't have you forgot it." Like somebody would say something nasty to me in school, and I couldn't respond. I would just take it.
Oh, wow.
When I get home, I will answer that person fully in the mirror.
Wow.
I will say, "You think you can talk to me like that just because I didn't answer back?" I will have
to the mirror.
To the mirror. And I'm telling you, once I've done that, done. Because people always say to me, "How come you forgive so easily? How come?" The mirror is a tool. It's a tool. You need it.
Really?
So what then happened is, obviously, once I got past that, now all you can now do the self-talk in the mirror. I don't do it as much as I used to, but yeah. So that because effectively the mirror gave me a place to vent.
Okay.
Where I didn't want. You see, my problem was I didn't want to put in a journal because I was like, if somebody finds this thing later,
then
and we're over. You know what I mean? It's like now so I didn't want evidence.
Right. So
and the mirror was the solution.
I've never spoken to myself in the mirror.
We need to. Please, homework. I'll speak to someone.
I'm going to speak to myself in the mirror.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, isn't it awkward?
The first 5 times, yes, it will be awkward. But then after that, you just be loving it. He'll be like, oh my gosh, hey, to the care, how are you?
I'm gonna come back and tell you guys how it went.
I mean, to be fair, and when I do the Rock Your Own Gorgeous sessions or workshops, I tell them that's one of their homework. They have to do it every day for 10 days. And so that's their homework. And I know it's so I actually haven't done it for years, but that's definitely what helped me. Certainly growing up in terms of just not holding malice because I don't. By the time in the grand scheme of kids, I don't have time. But I actually, it was when I was going back doing my rock that I realized how I had released these things. And why wasn't I angry about this? Why was I? Because I literally told the mirror how we were done. So it's almost like I spilled it out in the journal, but nobody has proof of it. There's no evidence. Nobody knows, but it's out. And now I can move
I can't actually imagine you just yelling at the mirror.
I had because I was so. That's what I'm saying. I was so shy, and I was so well behaved.
No, right.
I couldn't even.
There was so much going on internally because you were
respond. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't. If I respond now, there were so many things around. If you respond, you're a teacher's daughter. There's so many things that I can't respond. So I'll just manage myself, and then I don't know how I even discovered it. It happened by accident one day, I think. And oh my gosh,
mirror, guys, the mirror. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna let you know.
But
yes, self-confidence. I feel like mine had it when I was younger. I lost it halfway through. And then 40 really liberated me. If you're not 40 yet, you can still get it. Talk to yourself.
We're going to talk about 40 next time.
40 is great. 40 is great. Oh my gosh. Honestly, good behavior, bad behavior, 40. 40 just covers a multitude of many things. And I just thought...
She's not 50 yet, that's why she's saying that.
No,
but I will stay with her at 40 for the conversation.
Because 50 is probably another level of multitude of things. Yeah, 40 just liberated me different.
We're going to talk about that
on the next show.
But yes, so self-esteem, I think it's really important.
Yes.
I understand that a lot of people don't have it. I think if you know you have low self-esteem, there are many ways that you can, if I just Google it.
Wait, how do you know?
Well, like if you don't think you're good enough for so many things, repeatedly. Because when we define self-esteem as confidence in your abilities.
Sure.
So if you, and the way to get, I think the simple way, and actually this is what I did with my kids, this is how I started with my kids, to build self-esteem is to complete things successfully. So I would give them things that they could do. So you do a puzzle, and a 6-piece puzzle, you complete it, you're building self-esteem. Because you're building the confidence in your abilities. So you just keep giving them something harder. So every time you complete something, when I did marathon, you think I was doing it for fun. Self-esteem.
I did marathon.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, no, kids, I'm not doing a marathon.
No, but you'll find what it is.
I know,
But what I mean is, in being able to complete something successfully, you're building self-esteem. And I think maybe that comes back to your thing where you are going to work, where you felt you were not succeeding at what you were doing, so it wasn't doing anything for your self-esteem. The more you complete things, so just start doing little things. If it's I don't know, painting your nails successfully, that's it. You've completed it. Tick. Whatever it is that you do. But I think that's one way that you can build self-esteem quickly. Is just find different things that you can complete. So of course you start with easy things that you know you can do, and then build up.
Especially for younger girls, younger generation. Honestly, it would be so tragic if they had to go through what we went through when they don't have to.
Yeah.
Because and we're all individuals and we react differently to things, but you go through life experiences, and if you're able to help somebody based on your experience, then please, by all means, do. And and because self-esteem is not tangible, it's difficult to pass it on. Do you see what I mean? It's difficult to say do this, and then you won't have low self-esteem or whatever.
Yeah, but what you could do, especially if you're a parent, you can do what I did and just let the whole house be full of how great you are, or how great everybody was.
Because this person in the family we're talking about, honestly.
Let me give you an example of this chick. It's my daughter. She would say, which example? There's a million examples. She's the one that really made me think, yes, you have succeeded. Was one day she's really terrible. But one day she was
I love her. She's great.
She basically her brother said something, was making fun of her. Her older brother was making fun of her for something that probably he had every right to make fun of her for. But you know what I mean? He was making fun of her for something, And so she stopped. She was listening to him. And you know, any child would probably be upset, cry to mommy, like she stopped, waited for him to finish. As in she stopped, listened to him, waited for him to finish, and then she laughed from her belly. As in she laughed, and then she just said, "What do you know?" And she walked off. Look. And that's her attitude. You know, like she literally just shut him down right there. Like
you can't even
clearly you don't know me. That's why you are saying that.
Oh, wow.
Because if you knew me, you would know that this is rubbish.
She actually laughed.
She as in she laughed. She thought it was so funny. Like when he finished it, it was almost like, like, is that all you've got? You know what I mean? And she was. And when I said it, she was
Come at me a
5,
different way.
maybe 6. She wasn't even, you know,
Where we are now.
You know what I mean? She was like 5, 6, and he's 3 years older than her. She was just like, "Oh, what do you know?" And he stood there with his mouth, open. I mean, I just burst out laughing. And it was at that point that I thought, this has probably gone a bit far
Than I anticipated, but well, bravo.
yeah, you know.
Absolutely.
So I think if you can provide an
Space,
environment where
yes.
they can actually feel like that. But
then when they're older, then what?
what do you mean when they?
So when they're like in their 20s,
you just
and
kind of
you-
hope that they will hold on to what has been planted. But then you see, that's a good point because you didn't.
I didn't. I definitely didn't.
You didn't. So
And
I
my
don't
parents,
know.
I feel like they did a great job as well, but I definitely didn't. But I wasn't so self-aware, maybe. I wasn't self-aware enough to say, oh, this is the problem, you need to fix it. I was always just doing. Just go about just busy, doing nothing and doing everything. So maybe self-awareness.
But you know, I actually think that this is a huge, and you know, that's why I love my Rocky Unconscious, because I really feel like you need to know who you are. You need to know why you do things. You need to know what motivates you. You know, and I think a lot of us don't know this until much later. So the sooner you know it, the easier it will be for you to pick yourself up and take yourself back to where you should be, because you know that this is actually where I need to be. So anything that knocks you, you're like, well, this is my starting point. But if you don't have that starting point, then you're knocked.
You're just always.
And then you're just So I do think that it's but I say that it's very hard work.
It
It's
is.
serious inner work,
It is.
and a lot of people
Yes.
don't want to do it.
It's either you put in the work or you struggle
Yeah,
or you fake it.
yeah.
So
Decision is yours.
put in the work, guys. Put in the work.
Okay, peeps, we're off. So, yeah, a lot packed in there, and I don't even think we've started. You know, all of these topics on Zaza Zooms in are so huge, and we can just like start and hope that you guys will continue the conversation and have conversations in your own communities and your own groups. But yeah, self-esteem, it's so key. It's something that we really need. It's something that a lot of women struggle with, a lot of people struggle with. But I always say, because I'm a woman, I speak from the woman's perspective. I can't speak from any other perspective. But yes, it's one of those things that I struggled with. I've watched different girls and women around me struggle with. And I think it's something that we, you know, if we have a healthy level of self-esteem, we can do amazing stuff. So if you're struggling with your self-esteem, please take time out to actually invest in yourself, to help yourself, to develop your self-esteem. If you need ideas, we gave a few in the video. If not, DM us, we will respond. But yes, yeah, do something about it, because you need to have a healthy self-esteem. God bless you.